Hey everybody, welcome back to Nicsminibikes. Picked up a new project and it's this Coleman B200RSV. It did come with an engine, but I pulled that out of there already and I sold it. And today we're going to be trying to install this bad boy right there. So let's simply start by getting that 459 out of the box and see what all we need to take off to get it to fit in that frame. So just like your 224 Max Performance, it comes with jets in your owner's manual. Set that to the side. Packing, more packing. Your spark plug wrench comes in a nice little baggie there. We'll throw that away. Oh, this thing is huge. All right. Let me get this bike turned around. All right, so I'm expecting that big boy to fit in that little hole. Probably not. Probably 18 inches there with the gas tank. We got 16 and a quarter. So pretty much everything on top of that motor is gonna have to come off. If that gas tank ain't gonna clear where it's higher up here, that exhaust and intake is not gonna fit in the back where it's lower. Yeah, the gas tank, airbox, and exhaust are gonna have to go. All right, I'm just gonna do it here on the ground and figure this out. Let's start with the airbox because it's facing you. I believe there's a bolt through the top underneath here. That's why I'm pulling the air filter off. That would be mistaken. So I've never really done much on big block engines. I've done maybe two, so you'll be learning with me as we go here. Looks like those are still 10s. So we'll get those taken off. Oh, there is one up here. I thought so. So there's that air box removed. Kind of makes me sad there's a paper gasket there. I like the metal ones that come on other stuff. Let's move on to getting the exhaust off. We'll spin this around. There's two there. Are they 13 still? Yes, sir. And that was easy enough to get that exhaust off. Now I want the tank, 10 maybe. Yep. Those are going to be 13s on both of them. Now that tank is loose. Just gonna spin it around so I can get the fuel line off the bottom side here. There's our fuel tank removed. So that definitely looks like it's going to have a better chance of fitting in there. Let's try to set it in that frame. Alright, so it's been a few days. I screwed up and I left my mics out in the rain, so if audio's bad from here on this video, I apologize. But we know that motor is going to fit in the frame. Now we just got to figure out how to mount it. So for that, I reached out to Brad Butler and I got his mounting plate. So we're going to get this out of there and we're going to start getting this mounting plate installed. And my whole goal for this video is just to get the engine mounted for now and see how that looks. So let's get this out of here. So in your kit, you're going to get 8 bolts. I think I got 10 locking nuts, 2 extras. You're going to get some tall risers, some shorter risers. And then here you see we got another set of risers. They're just a little bigger in diameter than those ones there. So the biggest complaint I hear about Big Nasty Bikes parts, nothing ever comes with instructions. Most of us are pretty good and we can figure this out as we go. Some people need full-blown instructions, which is fine, not a problem, but it would be nice if we had a little bit of direction here. So I did reach out to Brad and I asked him what all these spacers were for. He said these tall ones are for under the spacer when you're installing it on the stock engine cradle. So we'll do this. And I'll just set that in place. I'll just start a nut underneath it. Then I'm not going to be able to get that bolt, and I don't even think I'll be able to get that bolt in after those risers are on. So we're going to stick that one there. We'll get our other riser put in over here. Start a nut on the bottom of that one. See if I can get a bolt up through there. Nope. Oh, almost had it. There it is. Then we'll do the same for these front ones here. Set our riser in there. Bolts through them. Our last riser. I guess we'll be able to get that one in too, huh? That's good. Oh yeah. But with that in place and still loose, I know when that was in there, that mount was way further up this way. So I think I'm gonna just take this off and I'm gonna flip it so this side is over here. Let me get that done. I'll bring you right back. All right, I got that flipped around. I like where that's sitting a lot better than when that plate was flipped like this. We're gonna try to get this motor back in here, but first we gotta add these spacers. These spacers are, I wish you didn't need them, but basically all they're for is to lift that engine up above these bolt heads, I think is all they're for. And I kind of wish you didn't need them, but you do. So whatever, that's fine. But I think we're ready to lift this 459 back in there and wrestle that puppy onto these bolts. That always makes it a lot more difficult. When your motor barely fits and you gotta lift it up over bolts to get it in, that makes it difficult, but it's fine. We'll get it. Right, so I'm looking at this and everything clears except for that dang starter. I need that whole front of that engine to come down 2 inches and then that starter might clear, but for now it's not going to. And it's not even, I don't think it's even the starter. I think it's the housing for the starter. But if I switch to the lower brackets, I'll be hitting chain cover over here. If that comes down, that's gonna rock more forward that way, but it's also gonna land more in this curve. I'm gonna take this chain cover off real quick. So I wouldn't say that's on there, but definitely just gonna get a nut for now. Whole engine needs to come my way. A lot. So now I'm thinking, dang it to heck. So it's definitely not gonna go in there with that plate in that orientation. So maybe I had it right the first time. And this is just part of building, especially using aftermarket parts. See if we can get this motor out of there. Came out a lot easier than I expected. So let's try flipping this plate back over again. I'm just gonna go like that. So the plate just doesn't seem to fit this way as well as the other. I think it's hitting on the upright on the cradle here, but we're gonna leave it like that. And we're gonna try to get this motor in here because this should move that motor back. So let's see what we get. All right, so we got all of our nuts and bolts started. Everything is clear on this side. Torque converter driven is cleared on that side. The only thing that's hitting is the top corner of this dang starter. The starter's hitting on that side and the mount is hitting right here on this side. Shifting that motor down, what would that do? I think we'd be fine. We'd be fine over here completely. I don't think I can move it down far enough to fix this issue. I could fix the starter touching the frame on the backside here, but I'm still gonna be hitting here. So here's what I'm talking about there. This is all cast into the block, I believe. Oh no, that's all part of the starter. Man, I was hoping to have the electric start on this, but if I have to lose it, then it's whatever. But yeah, you can also see that starter touching the frame back here. So that's all I have time for today. I'm gonna wrestle this engine back out of here, and I'm gonna try the shorter spacers and just see what happens with that. I got that set of shorter spacers there, and then I'll bring you back and let you see what that did. All right, so it's a few days later. Still have no mics, so audio is what it is. I do have some coming, they'll be here tomorrow, but this video's got to go up tomorrow, so that doesn't help me any at all. So I pulled the taller risers out, and I used the other set of thinner risers underneath the adapter plate, and I had to notch the adapter plate on the back to clear the jack shaft upright. It's not a big deal. And I got that motor in there, and it clears everything that I needed to clear, but the motor is still way too far to the left. It needs to be moved to the right. I don't know, probably 3/4 of an inch or something like that. The kids got their bikes and dirt bikes and mini bikes in and out of the garage every day, so that bike got buried in the back. I'll take you in there and show you where it's at, how it looks, but I just don't have time to take it out right now. I got to get ready for work here in a little bit. So let me take you in the garage and we'll take a quick look at what that 459 looks like in that Coleman B200RSV frame. So our biggest thing was clearing that starter, and it clears good there. And this is with the short risers. You're not going to be able to see the notch I had to do, but this upright right here is what I had a notch to clear, and it's clearing. But my biggest thing now is if I put a 30 series driver on here, which is what I want to do, there's no way to get that belt aligned properly with that motor sitting so far to the left. It's got to go to the right, probably 3/4 of an inch. And I just don't think that motor has that much adjustability in it. So that's all the time I have to put into that right now. I wish that motor would have just fell right into place and been right on the money as expected, but it didn't. It was my understanding that that plate was a straight bolt-in, 459 on top, good to go. But it's looking like you have to buy the adjustable motor cradle to get that to work, and I'm not a fan of that. Reading the description on that part, you'd think that it would just work with the stock cradle, but to me it doesn't look like it does. Maybe sooner or later I'll buy that adjustable cradle, but for now I'm not gonna do that. I might play with this some more and try to get it to work with just the plate, but it's not looking like it's going to. So as always, make sure you hit that link down in the description. Go check out the merchandise. We got hats, shirts, hoodies, all kinds of cool stuff. Go get you something, and make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's free for you and it helps us out. And as always, we appreciate you being here, and we'll catch you on the next one.